In this video, I'm going to show you how to add a module to a Python package. In the last videos, I show you how to create a Python package and also how to add functionality to your Python package. But so far, we only have one module in your the Python package, and so as your package grows, you might sometimes want to add more functionality. So it will be better to organize those functionality in different groups. So, and this is where you can add a new module to your Python package. So let's open the package template that we created in the previous videos. And so if you navigate through here under your package folder, you also have the same name as your package. And then within your folder, if you use my package Python package template to create the package, you should see these two files in here, underscore init underscore py, and also the same name like your Python package name. In this case, it's geodemo.py. So far we only have these two files. And if you click in the first one, so in order to be a Python package under the directory, you must have this one. Okay, so within this one it can be empty, but if you use the template, it's going to automatically add these 3 lines, and that will make it easier for us to do version control and also bump the version. And so this line here is the one that we added in the previous videos, but you can also take a look at the other one. Okay, so we added a map class inherit from the IPyLeaflet map class. We also add a function called shapefile to GeoJSON. So right now we only have just one class and one function. But I'm going to show you how to add a new module, right? So most of the function you want to play just within this main module. But like I said, when your package grows, it has more and more functionality. It's better to organize them into different modules so that it can be better organized. So next, let's get started how to add a module. All you need to do, just click and then new file. So you can choose a name to reflect the category or the functionality that you're trying to add. And if you want to see some example, you can take a look at the Gmap Python package. So from here, once you're on the GitHub repo, you can go to the Gmap folder. Within here, you're going to see a bunch of files, right? .py, something like that. So this is all the functionality being grouped into different modules. So each file is one module, and you can click the gmap.py to look at the main functionality for the package, and you can scroll down if you want. Okay, so this one right now I think has more than almost 5,000 lines of code, but you don't want to have everything within just one single file. Sometimes, for example, if you want to have different groups, you can have, for example, base map, chart, or color maps. So that's those. Okay, you can also have data set. Let me click maybe the common.py. Okay, so this one is a module with all the functions that can be used in both Folium and IPyLeaflet. It doesn't have to be on IPyLeaflet, and that's why I organize them into this module so that user can load these functions onto their notebook if needed. And so this one is also a bit long, more than 7,000 lines of code right now. And so next I'm going to show you how we can actually add a module. You can choose a name that can be used to reflect what you are trying to do with that module. So maybe we can add a new module. Let's call it, let's right click, make sure you right click the folder, the folder, and then new file. So I'm going to just choose the name called util.ls.py. So usually this is a utility module. That means you can have some functions within this module to that can be used for all kind of purposes. Okay, so once you have this one, then we can do the same thing like what we did in this one here. You can import the libraries, you can create a class, you can also add all kind of functions. Okay, so once you have this one, then you can use all the functions that you develop in this module. You can use that in other module, right? So all the functions within each module can be used by other modules, and that's the point, right? Because once you have the package, you organize them into different categories. you still won't be able to, you still want to utilize them between those different groups. So next, I'm going to add just a simple function to this module, and maybe I can borrow some idea from the GMap package. And for example, let's find the common.py. One of the functions that's very commonly used is to generate random characters. So for example, if your program is going to generate some files on your computer, and you need to make sure that the user does not accidentally overwrite existing files on their computer. So in that way, if the user chooses a file name, if the file name already exists, you can either prompt the user to change the file name, or you can just create a new file name with some random characters. So in that way, the file will always be file name will be always be unique. So the user won't be able to, won't accidentally lose the files. And so I already have a function here within the GMap package. You can hit Ctrl F to find the file, and then just type random. Okay, it's going to take you to this location, and def, right, define a function, and the function name is called random string. You can pass in a parameter string length equal to by default equal to 3. So what I'm going to do is just to copy this one, and then come back to here to this module, and just Control V to save everything. Control S. Okay. So keep that in mind here. You can either import the libraries within the function, or you can also import the libraries at the beginning. It's up to you. If the library is going to be used by multiple functions, it might be better to just cut and paste and put them in here. Make sure you use a Shift Tab on your keyboard to remove the indentation. So if you put them at the beginning, there's no indentation needed. If you put them between here, it needs to be indented within the function. So because this function is going to use just by this function, it's only used one time only. You don't really have to import them at the beginning. So I'm just using to Control G, put them back in here. And let's quickly go through this function, random string, right? Trying to generate a random string of fixed length. The user can pass in how many random characters they need. By default, it's going to use 3, and it's going to return the random string to you. So we need 2 libraries. The first one is random. The second one is a string, and string dot ASCII lowercase. That means ABCD all the way to XYZ, 26 characters. And so we are just going to use the so-called random choice, right? So the characters, this one represents the 26 characters, and the random dot choice, you're passing basically a string. It's going to just randomly pick one, and so it's going to go through the loop. Depends on how many characters we want. It's going to generate, for example, by default, it's 3 characters. So it's going to generate 3 random characters, and then join them as a list. So at the end, it's going to return the random string. Also in here, empty dot join. So empty, that means you have a list, and then you're going to join the list without anything. So if you want to test this function, you can. So next, let's go to open anaconda prompt, and we can start testing the function, see how we can use that, because we already add a new function. So now we are good to go to do the testing. All we need to do is conda activate demo, then just type Jupyter notebook, hit enter. It should open Jupyter notebook on your browser. Then you can navigate to the directory. I think it's under the home directory, geo demo. From here, examples. So in this one, I'm just going to add maybe a new notebook, Python 3, and you can change the name. For example, test utils, right? So I'm going to test the utility module. Make sure that right now we only add one function. You can continue to add more functions. This is just showing you the procedure. So later you can add more modules if you want, but the idea is the same. So once you know how to do it for one module, you can do it for multiple modules. So here the name is called random.string. How we can actually use the function, we just add it to the module. So what you need to do, import then type geodemo. So the geodemo is the package name and then dot. Okay, so once you hit dot and then hit tab on your keyboard, it should bring up this one. So you will see, for example, geodemo.utility. I don't know why it's double in here, but we just need the first one. So geodemo.utilities and then space import. Sorry, it's you need to like from this one and then import. Okay, so we're going to import the function. If you already remember the function name, I can just run. You can then just type 1 or 2 characters, then just hit tab. It should auto complete, right? If you only have one function that meets the criteria, it's going to just right here. You can also directly type hit tab if you don't remember anything. It's going to show you the list, and anything like with underscore, those are like hidden functions. We don't really need those. So for now, we just need this random string, and that's it. Once you import this one, you can start testing the function. So the function name, you just type the function name random string, right? Just parentheses. So right now we are calling the function. You don't need to provide any parameters. If you don't want, then just hit Alt Enter. You will see here we have 3 random characters. You can run it again. You're going to get different results. So if I run it again, right? If I run it again, you can continue to run this one. Anytime you run it, it's going to be generate the random characters. And earlier I showed you that you can actually pass in a parameter. So the parameter is called, if you hit Shift tab on your keyboard, it's going to bring up this one, because we already have some doc strings. Right now we haven't introduced yet, but I'm going to do that in the next video. For now, you can just simply look at the documentation. So the string length by default equal to 3. So if you want to have more random characters, you just need to change the parameter. So what we need to pass in is string, and then just 2 characters. Then you can select. Let's say I want 6 random characters. You just need type 6, and like I said, you can have multiple characters. Also, if you notice that every time you run, you're going to get a random characters, but sometimes it will be nice that the characters that can be reproduced, because this is truly random. You cannot reproduce, and that's the point of using the function called docseed. So docseed, you can pass in any integer number. I'm going to maybe check this one, and so then Control S, right? So if the random docseed, once you have this number on any computer, for example, if I'm testing the program on your computer and you get random characters, but sometimes you might want to reproduce that random characters on the other computer. If you don't use the random docseed, you will never be able to actually reproduce, because every time it's executed, you're gonna get random stuff. But if you have a docseed, it's random, but you can control the randomness. So it will be the sequence that is going to be generated will always be the same. So let's test it this one now, and let's come back to here. Now if we restart and run all again, restart and run all. So you will have the first one, right? And if you run this one again, right, it's always going to be the same, because this is random, but it's because we use docseed, and this one can be any integer number. It can be 1, 2, 3, whatever. It doesn't have to be 1001. It's just basically a unique ID. I can just put 1. It should be fine as well. Control S. Then we can come back to here and just run all. You see here it's still the same, right? And if we put into, okay, so this time, because we changed to 1, so this one, the number has been changed. If we go back to change the function here, you can also provide the function to allow users to actually to whether or not to use this random docseed, right? If you want, I can maybe just provide another parameter. So you comma, then maybe use seed equal to false. Like by default, it's fully random. So if the user want to use the docseed to control the randomness, they can pass in the parameter. So by default, it's going to be false. So if and we don't want this one to be executed. So in here we can just say if use seed a colon, and then you use the randomness. Okay, you can do it this way. You can put it to 1, 2, 3, 10, or whatever number you want. This one is not really, it doesn't matter. So I can put it back to 1001. And now let's come back to see this one. And we can restart. Right. And this one. Okay, so this time you see here, it's different. But because we're not using the seed, right? So every time you execute, you get different result. If I use this one, comma, and then use seed equal to 2, that means every time you're gonna execute, you're gonna get the same result. So run this one, run, right? You're always going to get the same. So in that way, you can reproduce these random characters on other computer. You can change to maybe, I can say 10 characters, right? It will always be the same. But I can change it to false, then it will be random every time. This might be useful if you, for example, if you're trying to generate a password, right? For the password, you can, if you want some random characters, I can maybe like 100. You can get like a very long characters, and you can have 1000. It doesn't matter. So this is the way that how you can use the function to test the function after you add something to the map, to the notebook. But in order to do that, you need to import the module to the notebook. But this might look pretty long, and sometimes you might want an easy way. For example, you can let me show you the other way how you can import the package. Right. So right now this function is within this module, but how can you use this function in this module, right? Your main module. And what we need to do, if you go to the import, right? So right now we have 3 lines of imports. Go to the end of the third line, and then just hit enter. So from here, if you want to import this function to this module, all you need to do is just from dot. Okay, so in here, this one is different from the IPyLeaflet and others, because right now we are under the same module, and you need to use dot. Dot means the current directory. So all the modules right now are under the same current directory, and so from dot utilities import, and then random. So you just type 1 or 2 characters. It's going to show up in here. So once you have this one, that means right now we have the main module, and the main module is imported when the function is imported. So all the functions that within the main module will be automatically imported when you import the package. So basically, whenever you call import a package, it's going to look at this init.py, and if there's anything in here, this one is going to be executed first. So all the functions within the geo demo, basically this one will be imported. And since we already import the random string within this module, it will be available directly. So in that way, we don't have to use. Okay, let me just show you here. Once we have the notebook, now we no longer need to use this one. We can just use from import. It should work as well. So let me restart and run all. You can get the same result. Okay, it's the same result, right? So in that way, you don't need to like geodemo.utility. It doesn't matter because you already imported one to the package. You can also do it this way. If you want, I can just maybe import, right? Geodemo. So let me say it one more time. When you import a Python package like this, it's going to go through a sequence. So first, it's going to look at this directory and then look at this file. So this one is execute first, and from here you say that from geodemo.import, import everything, basically import every function within that module. So all the modules within here, all the functions will be imported. And so because we also import other packages, and this function is also imported. And if we come back to here, we can just use geodemo, right? Geodemo dot random string. So you can also do it this way, and then alt enter. But if you from something import something, then you don't need to use the package again. So it will be your code will be shorter. It's up to you. If you just use the package, use the function one time, you probably just import using this way. But if you use that for multiple locations, then you might want to also just import the function. So in that way, you don't have to use everywhere, use the geodemo doc something, geodemo doc something. So you will make your code, source code shorter. So these are the two ways you can do to import the function and testing the function, right? I can also, if you want a longer string, I can have like 8, something like that, and you can continue to run. So this is how you can generate random characters. And the third way is that you can also in the init.py, you can also do it in here. So later when you add more functions to your utility module, if those modules are going to be used like frequently, you can also put it under the init.py. So I can do it in here from dot utilities import star means import everything. So I need Control S. Once you import this one, then we don't really need to import this one in here. So we can Control slash to come out this one. So this also works fine. This one basically handle everything. So later when you add new functions, you don't have to import that one in the main module. So I can come back to here and we can run this one again. All of them, it should work the same way. Right, so as you can see, easy and simple. You can run this one more time, you're gonna get different result. So 3 ways, right? So you can import the first one. If you can from .geodemo.utility import the function, and you can also import the function directly within the init .py. So this is how you can add new modules. So next, let's quickly show you how you can actually use the function for different modules. And let me comment out this one here one more time. So the function right now have been imported. They say you want to utilize this function. How you can use that? Let me go to this example here. For example, the add GeoJSON, right? So for this function, the user can add a layer to the map, a GeoJSON layer or a swap file. So this is just the GeoJSON, and within this one, there's a layer name parameter. So the layer name by default is called untitled. So if the user does not provide the layer name, it's going to be named untitled. But keep in mind, every time you add a new layer, sometimes you might override the existing layer, and you might want to add some random characters to the layer name, for example. So if we want to do that, we can certainly, if you use the layer name, and where's the layer name? So the layer name is here, right? So if the user doesn't provide, I can maybe add a new lines in here, and then I can say, okay, layer name. If layer name equals to untitled means basically the user does not provide anything, or they just use the untitled, and then I'm going to add a random characters to this layer, and then I can just say layer name equal to again the same untitled plus untitled, maybe space, right? Untitled, and then I can say random string. So depends on how many characters you want to add to the layer, and then we just hit Control S, right? So now we have this one. So let's test out the function, see how it works. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to here, and let's remove this. So we import the package, then we can create a map. So m equals to geodemo.map, right? So we create a map class, and then we can display the map. Just type n. Next, I'm going to add a GeoJSON to the map. So what you can do, add GeoJSON. So the first parameter is going to be the input GeoJSON, and so we can use double quotes and then dot. Maybe I have a data folder in here, so maybe data, okay, data, and then you just hit tab on your keyboard to bring up this one. And so we're going to use, for example, the US states.geojson. That's it. So you can certainly provide the parameter, for example, layer name, right? So it has a layer name parameter, but I don't want to provide. By default, it's going to untitled. So, and let's see what username, what layer name you're going to end up with. Right now it's empty, but if we hit Control Enter, the layer has been added. And then, oh, right now this one is untitled. It's supposed to, let me come back to here. Oh, we might need to restart the kernel to run this one so that it will be effective. Oh, tuple object cannot be interpreted as an integer. Random string. I think I have two parentheses. We can only have one. So let me come back to here. Take the end. Just one parenthesis. So no double. Control S and then come back to the notebook again. Restart kernel and run all the cells. So hopefully it will work. Okay, so now you see untitled and then 3 random characters, right? So every time if the user does not provide the layer name, it's going to have a random characters. I can do that one more time, run again. You see it keeps changing. So in this way, you don't overwrite the existing layer, right? It's going to change. But if you provide the layer name, I can say layer name equal to double quote GeoJSON and then Alt Enter. It will always be this one, right? So the previous layer is already there. So if I use GeoStation, and then if you run again, it will still be the same because the user provide the layers. So this is how you can actually have control. If you want to have some random characters to a layer name, to a file name, or whatever you want, then you can use this tiny function to generate some random characters. And you can provide how many strings you want. It's up to you. Okay, so this is how you can add a module and also how you can utilize the function you add in a module in other Python modules, and how you can test it using Jupyter Notebook. And so, like I said, there are a couple ways you can import the functions. You can directly within here, or you can use that on other module. And then, but keep in mind, you always need to use a dot because it's not a package, it's a module. So within under the same directory, usually I put under the same direction, then you can use dot, then the name of the module, and then you can import the name of the function. So this is how you can add functionality for module and how to add a module to a Python package. Okay, that's all for this video. Hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.